precious friends, I really hope that you are doing great. Welcome to today's class. It's our third lesson on the topic scale drawing, whereby we are looking at specifically what we call bearing. So we are looking at our example number 3, which reads that 4 towns P, Q, R, and S are such that town Q is 120 kilometers due east of another town P. So of course the first thing is to draw a sketch. So I will let my town P to be somewhere here. So if this is my town P, of course this is the northern side, the south, this is the east, then this is the west. So I'm told that Q is 120 kilometers due east of P. So if this is town P, its due east will be this particular line here. So it should take me to another town that we are calling Q. So of course for Q, this is the north, this is the east, then this is the south, then of course this is the western direction. So we are told that the distance from Q to P is 120 kilometers. So this is 120 kilometers. Then I need to convert it on the scale. I'm given a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 20 kilometers. So if 1 centimeter is equals to 20 kilometers, what about 120 kilometers? So this will be 120 kilometers over 20 kilometers multiplied by 1 centimeter, which is going to give us 6 centimeters. So this will be 6 centimeters. So this one, when we are drawing to scale, we are going to measure 6 centimeters using our ruler. Then we are told that town R is 160 kilometers due north of Q. So if this is town Q, its due north will be this particular line here. So this one should take us to another town that we are calling R. So town R is 160 kilometers due north of Q. So the distance from Q to R is 160 kilometers. If I convert on my scale, it will be 160 kilometers, then divided by 20 kilometers times 1 centimeter, which is going to give us 160 divided by 20. We are going to get 8 centimeters. So this will be equivalent to 8 centimeters. So here we'll be measuring 8 centimeters when we are drawing the actual diagram. So town R is 160 kilometers due north of Q. Then town S is on a bearing of 330 degrees from the town P. So this is our town P. So 330 degrees. Of course, this is 0. This one is usually 90, 180. Then this is 270 degrees. So 330 degrees, it means this is the angle that they want us to measure. So we shall need, we need to find this small angle here. So if this is 270, then we are told that the bearing is 330 degrees. So it means the remaining angle here will be 330 degrees, then minus 270. So if you take 330, then minus 270 degrees, you're going to get 60 degrees. Therefore, it means at this point, we shall need to construct an angle of 60 degrees so that the whole of this will be 330 degrees. So town S is on a bearing of 330 degrees from P. So this one should take us to a town which is being called S. Then we are also told that town S is on a bearing of 330 degrees from P, and the same S is also on a bearing of 300 degrees from town R. So if this is R, this is 0, this is 90, this is 180 degrees, this is 270. So we need 300 degrees. So it means 300 degrees will be somewhere here. So this will be our 300 degrees. So the remaining small angle that we shall need to measure here, it will be 300 degrees, then minus 270, of course, which is going to give us 30 degrees. So we shall need 30 degrees at this particular point. So the point of intersection of these two should give us the point that we are calling point S. So basically, that is the sketch that we need, so that when you have the sketch, now it becomes easier for you to draw the actual scale drawing or the scale diagram. So we are told that use a ruler and a pair of compass only for, that is, use a ruler and a pair of compass only for all constructions in this question, which means we don't need a protractor in this particular case. So part A, we are told that taking a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 20 kilometers, construct a scale drawing to show the position of the towns P, Q, R, and S. Then of course it's a question worth 6 marks. So once we have our scale, it becomes, that is our sketch, it becomes easier to draw. So let me start with the first point, which was point P. So of course I need a straight line through, let me draw it here. So I need a straight line at around this point here. Let me draw a longer straight line. I can even use a different ink so that to make my work presentable. So I'll start by making a straight line through this particular point. So we are told to use a ruler and a pair of compass only. So that means we are supposed to construct all the angles. Therefore, let me start with the point P. That is our point P. So for me to construct that, I need to construct a perpendicular through one of the points, so that I have the point that I'm calling P. So using my pair of compass, I'm going to put it through one of the points. So for example, through this particular point here, then I need to construct a perpendicular through this point. Let me see if it will intersect. So I need to make the line longer. I need to extend the line. Let me see. Yeah, I need to extend the line. So let me extend it through this side. So let me make it somehow longer from this end. Yeah, this way. So I can shift my pair of compass through this point here. Then I need a perpendicular through one of these points. So I need to construct a 90 degrees. So I can shift it to around this point here. So remember, if you want to construct a perpendicular, we usually make an arc on two sides of the line. So I'll make an arc on this side. Then I'll also make an arc on this other opposite side this way. Then after that, you simply take your compass through one of the points. So this is one of the points. Then of course you ensure that it's going through that center. Then you extend the length of the pair of compass a little bit that way. Then of course you make an arc on the upper side. If there is space, you can also make an arc on the lower side. So I'll also make an arc on this other side. Then without changing the radius, I'll transfer it to this other point that I've also made on this side. Then I make an arc to meet the first arc here. So I'll make an arc through this point. Then of course with the same radius, I'll also make an arc to the upper part. Then of course after that, you simply join these two. You join the point of intersection of this one and the lower one. So it should give you a perpendicular or 90 degrees. So this is what we are calling our point P. So this is our point P. Then I want us to move to the next point, of course, which is point Q. So this is our point P. So to get point Q, we need 6 centimeters. So we just need to measure 6 centimeters. So using my pair of compass, so of course you simply ensure that it is strictly 6 centimeters. Make sure it is 6 centimeters. So let me stretch mine to 6 centimeter, 7.2. So 6.0 is around that area. So once you get to 6 centimeters, you make an arc. You simply make an arc through one of the sides. Then we also need a perpendicular through the point P that we have just made. So let me, again, we simply repeat the same procedure. Let me reduce the length of my pair of compass. Then I make an arc on this side with the same radius. I also make an arc on this other side. Then I'm going to increase the length of my compass. Then I'm going to put it through one of the points that I've made. So let me start with this point here. Then I make an arc. You just increase the length a little bit. So I want to make an arc on the upper side and also the lower side of this particular point. So I make an arc on the upper side and also the lower side this way. Then after that, I simply transfer my pair of compass through this other point that I've made here. Then I also make an arc, of course, to meet the first one. Then I also need to make an arc to meet this other point here. Then after that, I'm going to connect the two points. So this is the point of intersection was here. So I'm going to connect these two, the other mark that I've made on the lower side. So what we have obtained, this is what we are calling our point Q. Then I need to increase the length of Q. So let me increase the length of Q from this particular line here. I need to make it longer, so I'll increase this particular length. Then remember, from point Q to point R, we need to measure 8 centimeters. So using my pair of compass, I'm going to measure 8 centimeters. So I need 8 centimeters. So this is 8.5. 8 centimeters is around that point here. Then of course, with this one as the center, from this particular point Q that we have just made from point Q, ensure that it is strictly 8 centimeters. Yeah, you can see mine is 8.0 centimeters. So when it is 8 centimeters, you simply make an arc on these lines so that you locate the point that we are calling point R. So if this is our point R, so remember we are told to construct everything. So I also need another line at this particular point so that I can construct the point R, having both the north, south, and east, and of course the western direction. So for me to achieve that, again, I'm simply going to construct a perpendicular through this particular point. So I'll make an arc on the upper side. Then I also make an arc on the lower side of this particular line. Then using one of the points, I'm going to increase the length of this using one of the points. So let me start with the lower point here. Let me start with the lower point. So I'm going to make an arc on this opposite side. So I'll make an arc on this side. Then with the same radius, I'm going to transfer it to this upper point here, so that I also make an arc to meet the first one. So I'll also make an arc through this point. Then of course I'll connect the two using a ruler and of course a straight line. So I'll connect these two this way. So what I've obtained, this is what we are calling our point R. So I can name some of these points. So this is our point P. This was point P. Then this was point Q. Then of course what you have gotten here is the point R. Then when you have the points, you can indicate the true north. This is our north for this. This is our north for point R. Then of course this is our north for the point Q. Now after that, we need an angle of 30 degrees through this point here. So of course, if you want to get 30 degrees, you are going to construct 60 degrees. Then after that, you simply bisect it, because if you bisect 60 degrees, it should give you the angle 30 degrees. So I need 60 degrees at this particular point here, so that when I bisect, I'll be getting the 30 degrees that we need through this point. So to construct angle 60 degrees, you simply put your pair of compass through this particular point. Then you can reduce that length. I can even vary the, let me change the color. So we need 60 degrees through this particular point. So I need 60 degrees from this line here. Therefore, for me to achieve that, I'm going to simply perform a rotation from this particular point. So I want to construct 60 degrees. Let me reduce the size of this. So to get 60 degrees, I'm simply going to rotate it in this particular manner. So I'm going to rotate it this way. Then of course, with the same radius, I'm going to transfer this one to this point here, because remember this line was supposed to, I can actually extend this line so that you clearly see what is happening. So I can make this line longer. Then without changing the radius, I'm going to make another arc. Remember, we are using the same radius, so I'll make another arc. So this one is giving me the angle that we are calling 60 degrees. So from this point, what we have constructed is angle 60 degrees. Then of course, if you bisect 60 degrees, it should give you the 30 degrees. So I'm going to bisect this so I can increase the length of my pair of compass a little bit. Then through this point, through one of the points, you simply make an arc. I can increase this length a little bit. Let me change the color. So through one of the points that you have simply made, we make an arc this way. Then of course you transfer your pair of compass through the other point that you have made here. Then of course with the same radius, you also make another arc. So the angle that we have constructed should be the 30 degrees. So from this point moving upward, this one is supposed to be angle 30 degrees. So this should give us the 30 degrees, but I can see I'll need a very longer line on that side. We can actually verify using our protractor so that we just check whether we are correct. Yeah, you can see using the inner scale, the angle is exactly 30 degrees. Then on this lower side, we need 60 degrees from this particular point here. Therefore, to construct 60 degrees, I'm going to use the same procedure. So I'll take my pair of compass through that point. Then of course I'll make an arc. On the upper and the lower side this way. Then with the same radius, I'm going to transfer it to my pair of compass to this point. Remember, we are using the same radius. We are not varying the radius. With the same radius, I'm going to make an arc on the upper side this way. Then if I connect these two, this one should be 60 degrees. This should be 60 degrees if I connect these two. So actually these two should intersect somewhere. So let me create some space on this upper side, because I can see I need this space. Let me wrap this so that I can create some space on this upper side. So I'm going to extend this particular line from the point P. So this is our point P through the 60 degrees. So the line should pass that way. I'm making it as long as possible. I can also extend this. I can also extend this line here. Yeah, I can also extend it so that they meet somewhere. So it will exactly be at that point. So the point of intersection of these two, this is what we are calling our point S. So this is our point that we are calling point S, the point of intersection of these two. So this is our point S. Then of course we also need to construct 90 at this particular point S. So remember, we are told to without using without using a ruler, without using a protractor, we are just told to use a pair of compass and a ruler only. Let me see whether we'll need one of the angles. We are told to find the true and compass bearing of S from Q. Yeah, so we don't even need to construct a 90 at this particular point S. So we can go directly to answering the questions. So we were told in part A, that is in part A, we were to show the positions. So these are the positions, of course, by construction. Then we are told that use the scale drawing to determine part A Roman 1, the distance SP, the distance SP. Remember, you can always use your protractor to confirm whether indeed the angles that you have constructed are true. You can see if I use the inner scale, that one is actually 60 degrees. So use the scale drawing to determine the distance SP. So I need to connect S and P. So of course S and P are already connected. So for my case, I'll use my pair of compass to actually measure that distance. But for your case, you can use a ruler. So from this particular point, SP, so I want to see that length. How much is that length? So that is our length. So the length is I'm getting 19.8 centimeters. 19.8 centimeters. So that is the distance SP. So this one means that this is part B Roman 1. So for B Roman 1, SP, the distance SP, I was getting, let me confirm that distance. Yeah, 19.8 centimeters. 19.8 centimeters. So this will be 19.8 centimeters. But I need to convert it back on my scale because on the question, all the units of distance were in kilometers. So the scale was 1 centimeter is equal to 20 kilometers. What about 19.8 centimeters? So this will be over 1 centimeter multiplied by 20 kilometers. So the distance will be, you'll take 19.8 then multiplied by 20 kilometers, which is going to give us 396 kilometers. 396 kilometers. Then part B, that is B Roman 2 of the question. So Roman 2, we are told that the distance SR. So the distance from S to R. So of course S and R are already joined. So you can use your ruler to measure that distance. For my case, I'm going to use my pair of compass to measure that distance. So the distance from S to R. So this is point R. This is point R. So I'm simply going to stretch it up to point S. So this is my point S. It's slightly below that. Point S should be around this point here. Yeah, so that is my point S. So I think it's supposed to be 18.3 or 0.4. Should be around 18.4. Yeah, for my case, I'm getting 18.4. So the distance SR, I'm getting 18.4 for this particular case. So I'm having 18.4. So the distance SR, I'm getting 18.4 centimeters. Let me verify. Yeah, 18.4 centimeters. If I convert on my scale, I'm simply going to multiply by 20 kilometers over 1 centimeter, which is going to give me 18.4 multiplied by 20. I'm going to get 300, and I'm going to get 3. So this is giving me 368. So I'm getting 368 kilometers. 368 kilometers. Then Roman 3 of the question, I'm told to find the true bearing and the compass bearing of S from Q. S from Q. So that means I need to connect the points S and Q. So I need to connect those two. So my point S is here. I'm going to connect it to the point Q. So you simply connect those two. Then they want the true and the compass bearing of S from Q. So that means the required angle will be this one. So this is the angle that they want us to find, this particular angle here. So that is the angle that they need. So I can use my protractor, of course, to measure the angle. I can simply put it this way. Let me rotate it vertically so that I just find the remaining angle on the other side. So I'm going to align it this way. So this angle, the remaining angle here is around the angle is using the inner scale, this angle is 45. This is 45 degrees. So that means for Roman 3, for Roman 3, the true bearing, remember we said true bearing is given in terms of 3 digits. The true bearing will be, so if this is 45, so it means I'm having 45, then I'm going to add, remember up to this point, this is 270, this is 180, this is 90, then of course this is 0,360. So if this is 270, it will be 270 plus 45, 270 plus 45, 270 plus 45, which is going to give me 45 plus 270, I'm going to get 315. So this is 315 degrees. So this is my true bearing. Then the compass bearing, will be, remember we said the compass bearing is measured from the north-south line. So the north-south line. So this one means that the angle that we are going to need for this particular case is this angle, because this is where we have the north, then this is the south. So the angle that we need is this angle here, because it's the one that is in contact with the north-south. So of course, if the lower angle is 45 degrees, of course the upper angle will also be 45 degrees, because the two combined should give you 90 degrees. You can as well just measure so that you can verify that. So if you want to measure this angle, you are going to rotate your compass, that is your protractor, in this manner. Then using the outer scale, you can see the angle will be 45. So from this particular line, you can see this angle will be 45. Therefore so it is 45 on the northern side, then it is between the north and west direction. So it will be north 45 degrees, north 45 degrees, west. So that will be our compass bearing. So thank you very much for accompanying me until the end of this particular lesson. I do not take it for granted. In case you're new to the channel, kindly hit the subscription button and also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified. Until next time, this is